Today I'm here to put some respect, acknowledgement and appreciation on how wholesome it is if you have a good relationship with your siblings. So I personally am very, very blessed. I'm very lucky and fortunate. I have 3 sisters, so if they're watching, they're gonna want to stay tuned because I'm gonna really blow up their egos here, who I'm extremely close with. And I look back on growing up as just having the best times with my sisters. I look back on then my teenagehood, or before I then moved out of my family home. And I'm so grateful that I had them, and I'm so grateful for the memories that we had there. But I'm also, when I reflect back on that time, I can't believe how significant certain memories were, and that I didn't realise their significance in the time until I'd left home. So, for example, if I then go through when my siblings started moving out, my eldest sister moved out first, and I didn't realise at the time that that was the beginning of the end. That was them then, that chapter ending. And when I look back at life, when I used to finish work, I would come home and I would just sit on the sofa and crack up with my sisters all night. Or if it was a rainy day, we'd come back and we'd just chill in bed and have a laugh and have a chat about the day, or take the mick out of each other, or you'd just be sitting there on, I think it was Snapchat at the time, scrolling through the filters and cracking up. How fortunate is that? Like, I now look at, I obviously have a son, and one of the biggest things that I want to be able to do for him is to provide him with siblings so that he is able to say the same thing. I think some of the most wholesome moments of my life were created by my siblings, and that doesn't necessarily have to be big things, but like, I look back and I think I have a sister who, I remember going about my life and I was at work, I was working. I wasn't earning the best wage, she was earning more than me, but again, she was still just like living at home. I think she must have been about 24 at the time, and pure guess. And I've been complaining that my mattress was really uncomfortable. So I must have been about 22, 21, moaning about my mattress. And then one day I come home from work and she has bought me a new mattress. And she's like, oh, let's go up to your room. She's like being really casual about it. And I'm like, what? And then I spot in the corner of my eye, my mom's filming me, and I'm like, this is a bit weird. But I go into my room and she's like looking at me, and I'm like, everything looks normal. Like, they've remade my bed with my new mattress. And she's like, I got you a new mattress. Who does that? Just for like nobody does that apart from your sibling. I'm sorry. Also, that's a very special sibling. I know not everyone's sibling would do that, but I remember getting in the bed and being like, what? Or like, there's a video of it. I just kept repeating, what? In fact, I think I had the same reaction when I got engaged. So it was that big of a deal to me. I could not believe it. Another thing, I have a sibling, my sister, my oldest sister, who, when I had COVID, she rang me, and it's like she just knew that I was having a really bad day with it. So I'd been ill for a while. She rang me just to check in, and she was asking how I was getting on, and I just started crying. I was like, I'm fed up of this, I'm having a really bad day. Anyway, we had a chat, and by the end of the call, I'm not joking, within half an hour, I had a knock at the door, and it was literally a full-on care package of everything I needed, but also like treats as well. You know, when you're unwell and you just want, like, for me particularly, I wanted like fresh juice. I hadn't told her any of these things, but they arrived. My other sister, I obviously now have a baby. She, again, I think it was just that I was ranting to her about, I mean, she has twins, so she is like the mother of all mothers. She's the person who gives the best advice when I'm struggling, because also she's going through it at the moment, but tenfold because she has 2 of them. And I'm having a tough time. I have a young baby. I can't remember how young he was at the time, but again, she just knew. I was meant to have plans that evening, and she texted me and she was like, look, cancel your plans. I'll come round as soon as I get the girls down, her twins. Yeah, she came round. She just knew exactly what I needed. She came round with a bottle of wine, crisps. She took the baby from me. I literally went into the garden. It was a sunny day. And I was sitting at the table while she was holding the baby, because he was so needy at the time. And I think that's the thing that I was struggling with. I felt so claustrophobic because I just could not catch a break. I could not catch 5 minutes. But she did everything. She bathed him, she fed him, she tried to put him to bed, and he wouldn't go down. And then we sat on the sofa, and for hours, she just sat there with him on her chest whilst he slept. And then by the time that she left, my cup had been filled up again. I'd had that moment to breathe. It was exactly what I needed. And I look back at all of these moments, trust me, I could go on forever. The list is endless. I'm sure my sister's watching it's like, well, why did you not mention that I did this? There's so many things I could say. But I can also say hilarious ones. Like, I'm sorry, one time I was driving, I got a new car, my sister gets in the car and all of a sudden it stinks of poo. And I'm like, what is that smell? And she's like, I can smell that too, I don't know what that is. And we're driving and I'm like, bear in mind this is my new car. I'm like, have you got dog poo on your shoe? She had dog poo on her shoe and she'd rubbed it. And I remembered saying, these are new floor mats. And she was just laughing so much that she was crying. Like, she was literally in tears because she thought it was so funny. And I was there like, this is my new car. Yes. Another time, me and my sister just decided, it was close to midnight, that we wanted to go and see Finding Dory, just come out in the cinema. She's like, I'll drive, not expecting that we're gonna have, it was in the O2, I think the cinema was, where it was showing. She hadn't driven on the motorway before and she had a smart car. And she's like, it's fine, I'll drive. And as she realises, as we're approaching the motorway, she's like, I've never driven on a motorway before. And we're in this tiny car that literally feels like if a wind hit this car, we would go flying off the road. She's like driving next to massive lorries, like the lorries, which are, bear in mind, slower because they're so big, are overtaking us on the motorway. And I'm crying with laughter. I find it hilarious. Another time, literally the list is endless. I could just go on and on and on. I remember driving and actually we had both of our babies in the back. So I'm really driving sensibly here, and somebody lets me go. So I go to thank them, but instead I've turned I've turned the water on, you know, for the windscreen wipers to clean the front windows. And because I'm meant to flash them to say thank you, and I've done that, we are then crying with laughter and I have to pull over. I'm like, no, I don't pull over. I'm like, stop making me laugh, I'm gonna have to pull over because I literally can't breathe. I'm trying to drive sensibly, I've got babies in the back. I have one of my other sisters who is one of the most intelligent people. Like, she is such a boss woman. She works hard. She's always succeeded in every career path she's taken. At one point, she did a complete 360 in her career and she's now excelling in that career. She's just amazing. But when it comes to life, we lived in Bromley and grew up in Bromley throughout our childhood up until she was about, I don't know, 20 something, early 20s. We lived in Bromley South, and I remember once telling her she had to go somewhere that was in Bromley North. She was like, how do I get there? She cracks me up. She just is, oh. Another time she's somebody who's just always in a bit of a kerfuffle. Like, I'd go pick her up once and she came running into the car and she'd had ages before I even got there, and she's running into the car with no bra on, no shoes on. I mean, she obviously had clothes on, she had like a jumper on, whatever. And she's just like running like on her tiptoes because she hasn't got her shoes on. I think she even was barefoot, and I was like, what are you doing? Honestly, I could go on forever. I have a sister who, when we were younger, we would literally just sit there and we'd be on a family holiday. I remember my mum forking out for us to go on this family holiday for her 50th. It was like a big deal. And there's just like countless videos of us just singing to like Bruno Mars in the camera. Like, I think we were in Thailand. Surely there's like better things that you could be doing with your time whilst you're in Thailand than sitting there just on your phone singing Bruno Mars. I could just, So this is basically a shout out. If you are fortunate enough to say that you also have a brilliant relationship with your siblings and they make you feel so wholesome and full of love and gratitude, then you're so lucky. And maybe just send them a bit of acknowledgement. Say to them what you want to say from the heart. Me and my sister have no boundaries when it comes to sending lovey-dovey stuff to each other. We're doing it all the time. It's actually got to the point where one of my brother-in-laws is constantly like, oh, sisters, oh, like taking the mick out of us because we're always just so obsessed with each other and hyping each other up all the time. I send things to my sisters all the time, like, I love you. I don't know what I'd do without you. So yeah, just a huge appreciation video for my sisters. And like I said, if you're lucky enough to have siblings, hold them tight because we're very, very lucky. If you have a good relationship with your siblings, obviously I understand that not every relationship is great when it comes to siblings. And if that is you, I'm really sorry. I'm thinking of you. I'm sending you love, and I hope you have great friends. Take care, bye.